Today, old gets clean. Mainline Models were a company that was a branch of Airfix that was set up in 1976 and was in production until 1983. The models it produced were for the time extremely well detailed and effectively kick-started the hobby into producing far more detailed models. However, whilst their detailing was something that they really excelled at, the chassis were a bit on the hit or miss side, and over time they have slowly deteriorated. Today, I'm going to be stripping a Mainline Models Pannier tank down completely, replacing the motor and giving it a good clean. Whilst this is a pannier, this technique can be used among many of the steam locomotives in the range, and even to an extent some of the older Bachmann models like the 4300 class. So, before we start, click like and subscribe, and we'll just have a quick look to see where this episode's steam spend is going. As this week isn't about any locomotive or anything in particular, the steam spend will be donated to the Railway Children charity. They look after homeless children and young adults and help them get off the streets. So let's get stuck in. Firstly, remove the body. This is done by undoing the two screws that hold the coupling in place. Once these are removed, the body should slip off straight upwards. Next, the plastic bracket that holds the wheel in place is removed by undoing the two black countersunk screws. With these out, the wheel set and bracket can all come out quite easily. Next, the weight from inside the boiler can be removed by taking out the two screws from the top, and this comes away easily. Now we're going to remove one of the sides of the chassis. There are 4 screws that need to be removed. 2 that screw into the motor, and 2 that are sunk into square holes towards the front. Once these are all out, the side should just lift off, and make sure that you don't lose any of the plastic frame spaces. Lastly, flip the chassis over, and there are 2 more screws which release the motor and gears. Pay attention to what order the gears came out in, as that will help save time when it comes to putting the model back together. And that's the strip down complete. When it comes to cleaning, there are a number of areas that should be focused on. Firstly is the recesses where the axles sit. So using a cotton bud and some enamel thinner, I just wiped away any excess oil and dirt to ensure a good connection can be gained there. Also, where the contact pins from the motor make contact with the chassis, just a quick wipe of those to remove any dirt so they can make a good connection. Next we turn to the wheel set. Clean around the flange and the rim of the wheel to get rid of any build-up of dirt, and then look to the actual axle and remove any dirt and oil from there too, to make sure a good connection is made between that and the chassis. And that's all the cleaning that's required. Next, installing the new motor is very simple. Simply just don't put in the old motor and put the new one in on the rebuild, as it's just the 2 screws that hold it in place on the half chassis, and making sure that the new pins can make a good connection on the chassis. You probably have to bend them to make sure, and that's the installation done. Now it's just a case of putting it all back together, which is just a reverse of the strip down, and a quick test reveals whether or not the surgery has been a success, which, as can be seen here, is now working excellently again. Mission accomplished. There we go. Thank you very much for watching. Consider hitting that subscribe button, because that's what all the cool kids do.